Astral projection is often portrayed as harmless and something that is an enlightening experience in pop culture. You know, pop culture is a problem. Y'all know that's a problem, right? Somebody talk back to me. No, you can't talk back to me because this ain't smell-o-vision, but I want you to understand that these are things that are glorified in pop culture, in entertainment, and in movies. But the truth is, it is a problem. Now, so let me ask you guys a question. Can anyone name a movie where astral projection is glorified? Put it in the chat. Now, when we think about astral projection from a biblical standpoint, it poses a significant spiritual risk. As followers of Christ, we ain't got no business jumping out of our body by the aid of a demon to either, listen, do something that we're not supposed to do. So what I'm saying is, we should not be using the power to do these things to inflict harm or to gain wealth or to find ourselves in situations that do not glorify God, that is not authorized by the Holy Spirit. Now, if you look in the chat, I've never watched Charmed. I've never watched Harry Potter. I've never watched any of these things. Quab, if you're in Clubhouse, I want you to tell me how it's used in the Matrix and help me to understand how it's used in the Matrix. Vampire Diaries, the originals. I saw the originals. Like, I can't. Me and Eric actually walked out of it in that movie. We couldn't do it. We just couldn't do it. It was too much. Anyway, so Quab, I don't know if you got a mic or if you can come up and talk, but we're gonna talk about this and then we're gonna really dive deep. So, Bola, the way that it is projected in these movies, can you explain that to us?
Okay, so nowadays in pop culture and even in movies, they make astral projection like it's something that you should do deliberately. So in movies, usually they would do it like a witch, like for instance, Charmed, there was a witch there and the witch had the power to astral project. Obviously, they didn't call it astral projection. They never do usually. They'll call it some other name, right? And she had the ability to be sitting down and she would close her eyes and her spirit will move and go somewhere else. And she'll come back like she was fighting, she was like the good witch fighting the bad guys, the hellfire guys and all those. So that was Charmed. I actually watched Charmed a lot. Then for like places like the originals, which I watched originals because I was a huge fan of the originals. That for the originals and Vampire Diaries, which I watched, right? Those ones, the astral projection would be the vampires. So usually it's the dead humans, basically the vampires, were the ones that were astral projecting. They had like multiple powers, and they usually astral, like they would move very fast, and their spirits would be somewhere else, while they are like it was done in a very weird way to not make it look like astral projection since they're already dead humans. That's for the Vampire Diaries, but it was still in a sense the same. But now in pop culture, I see a lot of videos of people teaching the youths how to astral project. And the thing about astral projection is that if you want to do it voluntarily, there are demons that are ready on standby. You will astral project. All those, close your eyes, lie down, just be centered. You will eventually, if you do it for so long, a demon will be there waiting and would help you astral project. But the astral projection is being done by a demon. That's what people don't know. They think it's themselves that are making the move. But you can't move anywhere without a demon aiding you. So by you intentionally practicing the act of astral projecting, you are coming in covenant. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to even drink anything. You don't have to drink anything in this case. You are coming in covenant with the demon, and they'll be using you involuntarily, not just voluntarily when you want to go, but involuntarily as well. And that will cause like a lot of issues in your life.
Okay, so you're saying they make it seem as something that should be something that is fun, something that is analogous, something that is harmless. But really, when you come in covenant with them to do this, then they in turn, you've given them the legal right to do it at their leisure. Is that correct?
Exactly, at will. They'll do your will.
Okay.
Yes.
So, have you ever been the victim of astral projection? Anybody that has been a victim of astral projection, I want you to put a 1 in the chat so we can discuss this. But as far as you concerned, Bola, have you ever been a victim of astral projection?
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so tell us what it was like, or tell us your experience.
Okay, so I've actually had like a lot of experiences with it. So what I mean is that involuntarily, right? So I never ever cared to do it voluntarily. So what is happening is that almost consistently every night, right, I used to have like problems remembering my dreams for a very long time, right? The reason why is because of they would take my spirit and go and have my spirit do activities, and they'll wipe the whole memory, right? Because if you remember it, then you start trying to figure out and you're praying about it, and then you break loose. Once you are cognizant, right, that is like an express way of getting loose. So a lot of times I don't remember. So then times I'll have like heightened prayers, because my prayer life was like dull sometimes, it was hot sometimes, cold sometimes. So when it was hot, right, then I'll be remembering like having glimpses, pieces, like Holy Spirit will show me things. And a lot of times what used to happen is that, so mine was like multi-dimensional.
Explain that.
Because of, okay, what I mean is, so if I say it now, so like I say, this is not my experience and I get it, but mine is multi-dimensional. The reason is because of the fact that I normally, the way God like created my own CRM thing is that I can also, like even now that I'm not astral projecting, right, my spirit also stands up intentionally from my body and goes to do stuff. So for instance, if I'm praying and I do a hot prayer and I go and lie down, my spirit man will stand up my body and go back to where I did the prayer and continue the prayer at night when I'm sleeping. Like even right now, my spirit does that. So I think, and that's what the Holy Spirit was trying to tell me like for a long time. So he made me like that, right? That's how he made me. So because that's how he made me, they were now using me, right? Like using the whole flight thing to be going on expeditions, like long expeditions. So what they were doing with me is that not only was the whole witchcraft thing, did they make sure that from like a little girl, I got indoctrinated already from little. They made sure of that. Then also they were now using that to send me on journeys. So what they'll do is that I can go on a gathering with them, have meetings with them, help them carry out their agenda, and then they'll wipe the whole memory off. But then I now started remembering when I do hot prayers, and I start remembering things. I start seeing them. I start like trying to piece out who are these people, but they always hide their faces, and that's what astral people do. They are very good at that. They know how to masquerade. They will hide as your friend in real life. So I used to see them all the time as my friends' faces. So you know when you're seeing your friends in the dream, you're not like you won't think about, oh, let me pray against my friend, because to you it's like, oh, it's just a normal dream. I saw my friends were talking. So it was going on like that for many years. I'll see my friends in the dream talking. They'll come to my room. I'll be having dreams and they'll come to my room to chat with me. But I would just think that because I spent time with the girl during the day, do you get my point? Then I am like chatting with her, and I not knowing that was the astral thing that was happening. So my spirit man was interacting with them in the sleep. So eventually, like when everything unfolded, right, and the Holy Spirit revealed everything that was going on, instead of him revealing it to me like a regular and just be like, oh, this is what's going on in your life, he took me to the coven, like as I told you and all that. So he did that because of my spirit man was already traveling normally, right? So all he did was just open my eyes, see where you are going to normally. You get my point? So that was why he did it in that manner. So once everything unfolded now, and he has actually done it in a way, and all that has broken loose, and I've prayed about it, they now can't use my spirit man again. So my spirit man does a lot of activities at night when I'm sleeping, but I'm aware of it. So like what I mean is this, for instance, they came to confront me in my house, And I was very surprised. That was the first time that I knew that, oh, so you can actually stand up from your body. I didn't know that. Like, my spirit now stood up from my body and confronted them and said, and like challenged them and said, like, we'll see whose God is bigger, whether it's yours or mine. Mm-hmm. Now, that's something I normally do before, like standing up my body. But I didn't know that until now. So my case is different because of the fact that even now that I'm not astral projecting, I'm still actively walking in this seer realm dimension. That's why. Okay. So that's why I said my case is multidimensional.